Welcome back to the Market Mindset Podcast. Folks, I'm your host, Big Money Mike, and today we're diving into some of the most exciting and pivotal news from the financial world. It's June 12th, 2025, and the market is buzzing with activity. First off, let's talk about the nuclear energy sector, which has been absolutely on fire lately. Companies like NuScale Power Corporation and Oklo Inc., OKLO, have seen their stocks soar over 200% since early April. This surge is driven by a renewed focus on nuclear energy as a key component in the transition away from fossil fuels and to support the power-hungry artificial intelligence revolution. The U.S. government has thrown its weight behind this sector, with various initiatives aimed at tripling nuclear capacity by 2050. Just last month, President Trump signed an executive order to accelerate the expansion and innovation of nuclear power. Big tech giants like Meta and Amazon are also making significant deals with nuclear power companies, securing long-term power agreements. Now, the question on everyone's mind is whether to jump into these soaring nuclear energy stocks right now or wait for a pullback. Here's the thing, NuScale, in particular, is at a critical juncture. It's the first and only SMR technology to receive design approval and certification from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and it's on track for deployment by 2030. This makes SMR a compelling bet on the future of small-scale, next-generation nuclear energy. Oklo Inc., on the other hand, just announced a proposed public offering of $400 million in common stock, which will be used for general corporate purposes, working capital, and potential future investments. This move indicates Oklo's strong growth trajectory and its need for additional capital to fuel its ambitions. Moving on to another exciting space, quantum computing. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang made some bullish comments at the GTC Paris Developer Conference, sending quantum computing stocks surging. Companies like Quantum Computing, QUBT, Rigetti Computing, RGTI, and IonQ saw significant gains, with QUBT rising over 25% in a single day. Huang's remarks about quantum computing reaching an inflection point were particularly bullish, especially considering his earlier comments that suggested useful quantum computers were 2 decades away. This shift in tone has investors optimistic about the near-term potential of quantum technology, especially with IBM's announcement of building the world's first large-scale error-free quantum computer by 2029. Now let's touch on some broader market news. Inflation data for May came in lower than expected, with the consumer price index rising just 0.1% month over month. This muted impact from tariffs is a positive sign for the economy, suggesting that inflation pressures might be easing. On the tech front, Databricks announced it expects to reach $3.7 billion in annualized revenue by July, with a year-over-year growth of 50%. This is a stellar performance for one of the most highly valued tech startups, and it highlights the strong demand for data analytics and AI solutions. Chime Financial Inc. also made headlines by pricing its IPO at $27 per share, above its expected range, valuing the company at $11.6 billion. This successful IPO is a sign that the fintech sector is starting to thaw after a long freeze, and we might see more companies following suit. In other news, Elon Musk's favorability among Republicans took a hit, dropping 16 points since March, according to a Quinnipiac University poll. This decline follows a public feud with President Trump, but it's worth noting that Musk remains popular among Republicans for his work in reducing government inefficiency. Finally, let's talk about some stock recommendations and market predictions. Given the strong tailwinds in the nuclear energy sector, I'd recommend keeping a close eye on NuScale Power Corporation, SMR. The company's unique position as a pure-play SMR stock, combined with its regulatory approvals and deployment timeline, makes it an interesting speculative bet. For market predictions, looking ahead to June 13, 2025, I expect the S&P 500 and Dow Jones to continue their upward trend, driven by positive economic indicators and the ongoing tech boom. The recent inflation data suggests that the economy is in a good place, and with the Fed likely to maintain a supportive stance, we could see further gains in the major indices. Quantum computing stocks, fueled by recent bullish comments, might see continued volatility, but overall upward momentum as investors become more optimistic about the sector's near-term potential. That's all for today, folks. It's been a wild ride in the markets, and it looks like there's more excitement on the horizon. Remember to stay informed, stay vigilant, and always keep that market mindset sharp. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Market Mindset Podcast.